The remit of the ECB is clear: price stability. It uses the base rate as its tool to deliver that, and it's been lowering the base rate steadily ever since the financial crisis, down to zero. Savers are left by the wayside, but countries with high levels of debt, such as Greece, are able to get their hands on cheap money. So too can ailing banks in southern Europe. The cheap money is supposed to fuel growth. By buying government bonds, the ECB has pumped additional trillions of euros into the markets. Otherwise, the system would face potential collapse. The price of all this is a deluge of money. The money has to go somewhere, into shares and real estate, which continue to rise in price. The result is a massive concentration of wealth right at the top. Bill Gates, the world's richest man, has a fortune of 65 billion euros. That's the market value of his shares. To compare, the total value of all of the world's cash is less than 100 times that amount, 5 trillion euros. The value of all goods and services created every year around the world is 75 trillion euros. That's the real economy. The world's debts are far higher than that. States, businesses and private individuals all have debts. A world living on credit. 705 trillion, that's the value of all derivatives, the speculative financial bets on the future. They've got almost nothing to do with real goods anymore. To recap, this is the fortune of Bill Gates. What happens when there's too much money in the world? Economist Max Otter says this deluge of cheap money isn't just flooding the big banks. He sees low interest rates as the symptom of a massive sickness in the global financial system. What's more, cheap money endangers the entire economy and promotes increasing levels of debt. He says those who believe that with the financial crisis of 2008 receding, things are now better again are much mistaken.
This influx of money is extremely dangerous. It's slow, but at some point the dam will burst and then we'll be in a huge crisis.
The biggest danger is that this flood of cheap money will split our society. It moves money from the bottom upwards, he says. A gigantic redistribution machine.
Low interest rates are demanded by many economists. They mean that states can borrow on the cheap. States can take on more debt. It also means the rich can do the same, and often without any liability, if they default. If I, as one of the super rich, buy a business, then I'm only liable to the extent of my holding, not with the rest of my wealth. That's a blatant injustice compared to middle-class families and regular people with home construction loans.